Turnpike Sports is brought to you by Drizzly, your online liquor store. Available in over 95 cities across North America, Drizzly offers a huge selection and competitive pricing with a side of personalized content. Now there's no need to leave the house. Get alcohol delivered in less than an hour by Drizzly. Head on over to drizzly.com and order today. And now get $5 off your first order of $20 or more when using promo code DRINK19 at checkout. Shop beer, wine, and liquor with drizzly.com. Welcome to Turnpike Sports. I'm Dave Whiteshuttle, and as always, I'm joined by my producer and co-host, Doug Whiteshuttle. Doug, had a little NFL football this week.
About time.
Yeah, right.
Everyone's been talking about the NFL, the upcoming NFL season, and quite honestly, the excitement surrounding just the first preseason opener was actually kind of interesting to watch.
We're talking about the NFL Hall of Fame game.
Steelers, Cowboys.
I recognized almost no one playing in there, so it was interesting. But, man, was it bet on.
Oh, yeah. No, everybody was betting on it. As a matter of fact, two sports books threw out some interesting betting information on the game itself. DraftKings Sportsbook reported that more money was bet on the Cowboys-Steelers preseason game than 11 of the 12 Major League Baseball regular season games that happened on that day, which was Thursday of last week.
I got to tell you, when it comes to sports betting, football is king. I mean, there's no doubt about it. People can say, oh, it's March Madness is a big betting event, or the World Cup is a huge betting event. But when it comes to sports betting and throwing down some money on games, the NFL and NCAA are just kings.
Well, again, another sports book, the Superbook, reported that they took more money on the Steelers Cowboys game than any of their Thursday baseball games as well, except for two.
With all this betting, I haven't seen any reports on the ratings. When we talk about betting, we always talk about fan engagement. I'm with the amount of betting that was on this first preseason game. I want to stress that it's a preseason game. People are betting on preseason games. But, I'm very curious if the ratings went up. I haven't seen anything talking about the ratings yet, so I'll be very curious to see about that.
Of all the preseason games, I think the Hall of Fame game does draw a little bit more ratings than anybody else. Any other game that in preseason.
It's the first taste of football, so a lot of people are very curious about it, even if it's just for the first quarter, because those are that one quarter is when some of the recognizable players are playing, but not this game though. Who's it? Mason Rudolph.
Yeah, Mason Rudolph against the Cowboys started Garrett Gilbert.
Okay, yeah. So
let me tell you, the one thing I finally learned something out of a preseason game.
What?
If you're a Cowboys fan, you better hope that team gets a veteran backup, because their backup quarterback situation is trash. They do not have a good backup in there. They got Danucci there, who didn't start the game. They put Gilbert in, but with Dak Prescott hurt, I don't know if they got to have somebody back there.
Well, it should be an interesting NFL season. We got
it's shortened NFL preseason. This first time we're having a shortened NFL preseason. Don't forget to mention that.
Oh, yeah, no, it's should be very interesting. Well, we got a great show coming up. We got a By the Numbers segment. We got a Beatin the House segment. Of course, we have our book report. But in our interview segment, I'm going to be talking with Patrick Brown. He is the owner and director of the Racing and Gaming Conference at Saratoga. It's being held at the incredible Saratoga Racecourse on August 16th and 17th. It's an amazing conference at an amazing racetrack, so you guys should check that out. It's been a busy week in sports, so let's take a trip down the Turnpike. Today's trip down the Turnpike is brought to you by Drizzly, your online liquor store. Available in over 95 cities across North America, Drizzly offers a huge selection and competitive pricing with a side of personalized content. Now there's no need to leave the house. Get alcohol delivered in less than an hour by Drizzly. Head on over to drizzly.com and order today. And now get $5 off your first order of $20 or more when using our promo code DRINK19 at checkout. Shop beer, wine, and liquor with drizzly.com.
Exit 1.
Okay, for this week's first exit, we've been talking about all the different states launching their sports betting or approaching launching their launch dates for sports betting. And one of the states everyone keeps talking about is Arizona, how much of a competitive market it's going to be.
It's going to be a huge state for sports betting.
And it just keeps getting bigger and bigger with all the deals being made. I know PointsBet just made a deal in there. We've got all the different big names, FanDuel, DraftKings doing deals with the teams, the arenas. And it's starting to shape up like a really great market. But I was looking at some of the other components of the bill that was passed for legalizing sports betting in the state. They've got a really ingenious little component to it. I haven't seen it in too many other states. Maybe it's because it deals more with Native American tribes in the state, and a lot of states don't have as big a conglomeration of tribes as Arizona does.
But I know Connecticut is going to start dealing with the compacts because of the sports betting issue.
Well, the compact that was approved in Arizona has something called the Native American Compact Trust Fund. And it's a very interesting little piece of legislation within the legislation, and it would help the Native American tribes that are kind of cut out of the sports betting industry.
Okay.
Basically, this is for the area in the Phoenix and Tucson metropolitan area, for the larger tribes that actually get the sports betting licenses. They have to, the tribes in those areas, the Phoenix and Tucson metropolitan areas, are required under this law to deposit a portion of their annual revenues into this trust.
Good.
And this is for use to kind of even the playing field, because not every tribe is going to be able to get a sports betting license. Mm-hmm. And a lot of the other tribes operate smaller gaming operations on their reservations. So what this is an equalizer.
Good.
Basically, when a tribe that is not able to get a sports betting license feels that their revenue, and they can demonstrate it, that their revenue has fallen because they weren't able to get a sports betting license, they have to apply to the Department of Gaming under this trust fund application to, apply for additional funding to help bring them back up to equal level to what they were before they started losing their money.
Well, I think it's great. I think it helps out everyone involved, and I think it helps, the people they're supposed to help. I know casinos came to Arizona to help the Native Americans, and it's great that sports betting will help all Native Americans, regardless of if their tribe is allowed to get a sports license. So it's a good move.
Well, according to the system, gaming revenue is a huge component of a lot of the Native American tribes in Arizona, especially the smaller tribes where they rely on the casino that they have built, or their bingo parlor, or what have you. And, what this also will allow them to do, not only maintain their revenue and keep them on a good playing field with everybody else in terms of Native American culture there, they can also even use that funds to build more casinos. They could actually apply to change their betting limits.
Okay.
They could do a whole bunch of different things with this money to help them maintain what they had already had by if they lost out on the sports betting licenses or some of the other things that were granted under this new sports betting compact. It's very unique, and I really haven't seen too many other states have something like this.
Well, I think it's a good move by Arizona. Like I said, it helps out a lot of people. So, sports betting is for the benefit of the state and all the people in the state, including the Native American tribes, and I'm glad it's helping out everyone.
Exit 2.
We've talked about farming as esports. We've talked about Microsoft Excel as an esport. We now have cybersecurity as an esport.
You're talking about cybersecurity as not protecting the esports component, but cybersecurity as an esport itself.
The actual occupation.
How would you do that?
Well, TikTok and the Federal Commerce Department's National Initiative for Cybersecurity Education have set up an esports-style competition to find new members of the cybersecurity workforce.
So this is a competition to show, to have people develop cybersecurity measures, and it's almost like a game against other cybersecurity professionals who are creating their other ways to protect the internet.
It's
correct?
Also that's exactly 100%.
Okay,
but they also are doing this to field what they call the U.S. Cyber Team.
Oh, so this is going to be a big thing now.
This is for domestic and international competitions on cybersecurity.
Okay, this isn't just for finding new and great ways to protect the internet. This is going to be an actual sport or an actual team that is competing with each other every year, right?
Exactly. And this is...
You know what? It's a great way to keep, the cybersecurity implements and tools more effective. You keep pushing yourself to create better cybersecurity tools. This is a good way to do it.
Well, the event started in May.
Okay.
With what they called the U.S. Cyber Open.
All right.
18 to 26-year-olds of all levels joined a free 2-week combine of sorts.
Oh, this is free, huh?
For that competition.
Okay,
for that competition. They earned an invitation to the main U.S. Combine, the U.S. Cyber Combine Invitational, which is another tournament that is basically just like every other esport competition out there. It's like they actually have to go and perform, and the U.S. Cyber Team will take the best candidates.
Wow. Okay.
So this is, as
esports
develops, it's becoming more and more sports-like.
This is a great way to keep, the tools of cyber professionals up to date. I'm sure they're going to be, it's a good recruiting tool, too. Well, certainly if it's 18 to 26-year-olds, like I'm reading right here, that's a great way to get people into the field of cybersecurity. So good for them.
They had almost 700 people
participate.
So what is this,
TikTok?
TikTok and the Commerce Department.
That's great. That's great.
This is 700 people participating in that May event, the U.S. Cyber Open. The official draft day, they're holding a draft for this. The official draft day for the U.S. Cyber Team is October 5th. They're going to take the top 20 cyber athletes, what they call them.
Is this going to be I don't want to call it a televised event. Is this going to be like on Twitch or something?
This will probably be streamed at some point. Yes. And then once they choose the team of the top 20 athletes, they will train together and prepare to represent the U.S. at the inaugural International Cybersecurity Challenge, the ICC, in December.
I'm very curious if all these things will be streamed on the internet and how safe and secure the stream will be for the International Cybersecurity Challenge.
Well, first of all,
that should be an interesting
the answer is going to be...
Hopefully it won't get hacked.
Well, I think the answer for the streaming part will be yes, it's going to be streamed because it's TikTok.
Well, yeah, and certainly it should be the most secure stream ever.
It should be.
If there's an International Cybersecurity Challenge, it should be the most secure stream ever if you're watching it.
They're going to have 9 countries compete against each other in December at this International Cybersecurity Challenge. They're going to be doing challenges involving web application and system exploitation, cryptography, reverse engineering, hardware challenges, forensics, and escape rooms. Now, the escape rooms, I understand what that is. That's basically they're in a situation they have to get themselves out of it. like a malware or a ransomware attack, that sort of thing. But, it's kind of interesting. Everything is being turned into an esport all of a sudden.
Yeah, no, it's great. Like I said, it's a great way. It's a great recruiting tool for the cybersecurity professionals.
Exit 3.
Okay, we just had the Cleveland Indians change their name to the Cleveland Guardians.
Guardians, right?
We now have a trademark battle potentially brewing. I actually can't really say it's a trademark battle yet because nothing's really happened.
Hey, correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, Guardians. There was, I honestly don't remember the name of the football league a couple of years ago. There was a couple spring football leagues. And wasn't it the New York Guardians? A football team was named the New York Guardians.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So that name's out there, right?
That name's been out there.
That name's out there.
It's actually kind of similar because the Guardians I think it wasn't.
I can't remember the league.
It wasn't the XFL. It wasn't the Alliance of American Football. It was the other league that started up.
I'm checking.
Yeah, but it was based upon the gargoyles on the buildings.
Yes.
The Guardians team name that the Indians chose is
XFL.com,
XFL.
New York Guardians. Okay. Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought the Guardians were out there. Okay.
But the Guardians that the Cleveland team chose are the statues that are on a couple bridges leading into the city, which is actually pretty cool.
All right, yeah.
Well, let's go through a little history here before we get to what's going on in Cleveland with this name. In 2018, everyone knows they dropped Chief Wahoo.
Yes.
The smiling Indian face that they had everywhere. Then they announced that they were going to rebrand the name. And then last month they came out with the rebrand, which was Cleveland Guardians. Mm-hmm. And they actually didn't do too much effort in terms of logo design and all that stuff. It was kind of interesting, but really nothing much.
It's a big G, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
right.
and I also just says Guardian. It looks like the same font as Indians was in.
Okay.
So, but
I remember seeing it. I don't really kind of recall it. I can't picture it right now, but it was like a big G.
Well, after they announced it, all the media outlets did this, and I did it too. I looked around, and there is still an active website, clevelandguardians.com. Everyone was wondering why they didn't get that domain name.
Oh, there was a Cleveland Guardians. Okay.
Clevelandguardians.com, already in existence.
All right.
The domain name pointed to the Cleveland roller derby team.
Okay, all right.
The roller derby team's been around for a while.
Now, what is there a roller derby league that the Cleveland Guardians are in?
Well, at the time when this name change was announced, there was no roller derby whatsoever that this team was involved in because of COVID. It shut down in 2019, 2020.
When I think of roller derby, I don't know. I think of female roller derby. I'm assuming. No. So this is a male roller derby thing.
This is male.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
I
don't know why I constantly think if you say roller derby, I think of women roller derby. I don't know why.
That's the typical image of that's where it's kind of started.
Being a kid from the 70s, that was a big thing in the 70s. Female roller derby.
Well, the team, the roller derby team, had not updated their website since 2018.
All right.
So a lot of people were starting to think maybe they worked out a deal, between the baseball team and the roller derby team to take the name. That wasn't the case. On July 24th, the roller derby team's website, clevelandguardians.com, was updated.
Whoops.
And announced that they were looking for players for the upcoming season.
All right.
And then the roller derby team also filed a trademark application on July 27th for the name Cleveland Guardians.
All right.
For apparel and stuff. See, now, the situation here with the baseball team is kind of interesting. They were trying to maintain a little secrecy in terms of what they were going to name the team. So they actually filed a trademark. The baseball team actually filed a trademark on April 8th, but in Africa.
Okay.
In the Republic of Mauritius.
All right.
It's a small island near Africa.
Okay.
So they filed an international trademark there, which means when they filed their trademark on July 23rd, the international application would be the data priority. See, trademarks always go by data priority, use first, filing date first, that sort of situation. On their July 23rd application, they used the April 8th date as the date of filing.
But the Cleveland Guardians roller derby team were using it since, 2018 was the final time they updated their website. So they were using it 2018 prior to 2018.
But they never filed a trademark.
Okay. But they were using it, though.
They were using it.
Okay.
And, again, there is, you can make the argument that given the fact Cleveland Guardians, there's going to be a likelihood of confusion because two professional sports teams, the roller derby is a professional team.
Sure.
They're two professional teams in the same city using the same name. There's going to be obvious likelihood of confusion here.
Well, let's be honest. If the Cleveland Guardians roller derby team wanted to sell jerseys and hats and whatever, the Cleveland Guardians baseball team would have a problem with that.
Yes. Well, see, the situation here is every time you reach out to for comment from either of these teams, they're quiet. That usually means there's a deal in the works here. Mm-hmm. And it's going to probably be a lot more expensive than the Indians thought it was going to be.
Sure.
Because not only do you have to get the mark away from this team, you also have to get the domain name. All the social media is in the roller derby's name.
Sure.
So this is going to be a very interesting deal that has to be made. I think the roller derby's in such a great spot.
Oh, I think it's great. Number one, look at all this publicity that they're getting. Number two, they're going to, they're going to be compensated.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, certainly they're going to be compensated.
The hardest part is securing intellectual property for this. And maybe the Indians did their homework before they did this, or maybe they didn't. I don't know. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me.
For God's sake, it was in the same city as they were situated.
It would not surprise me that they went ahead and changed the name thinking they were gone since no update since 2018.
Well, look, obviously, before they changed the name, they would have to search, Google at least, or type in to see if we have the website address. So
also one of the other things they should have done was to take a look at the domain name owner registry.
Well, that's what I mean.
See how long they have it renewed to.
Okay.
Because maybe they didn't renew it until now. Maybe there was other things going on, other little signs that pointed they were done. But we don't know. But this will be fun to see exactly how this pans out. You can't call it a trademark battle just yet, though.
Exit 4.
And last but not least, we have a non-fungible token story.
Oh, again.
This one's kind of fun, and I actually kind of want to take a look at these when I get a chance. The NFL Hall of Fame. We've been talking about the Hall of Fame Resort and Entertainment Company for a couple of weeks. Every so often they seem to have new stories coming out, whether it was sports betting or some kind of fantasy sports league. Mm-hmm. They are now launching, let me get the name right here, a NFT series called Playbooks.
Okay.
They're doing this. It's the Hall of Fame Resort and Entertainment Company in partnership with Dolphin Entertainment. The series called Playbooks will highlight memorable plays from 6 different players. Marcus Allen. He's actually I didn't even know this. Marcus Allen's the only NFL player to win a Heisman Trophy, NFL MVP, a Super Bowl, the Super Bowl MVP, and also be enshrined in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. He's the only one.
That's pretty much all the trophies you can get.
But he's the only one in the hall. Tim Brown's going to be one of the other athletes. Okay. Earl Campbell.
All right.
I loved watching Earl Campbell run. Shannon Sharp, Joe Theismann, and Doak Walker.
Okay.
The 1948 Heisman Trophy winner and Hall of Fame member. For people who don't know who Doak Walker is, a lot of the kids don't right now. Kind of interesting what they're going to be doing. It's going to be each collectible features the voice of the player, immortalizing their specific play that was chosen from the college or professional game. Each one's going to be $25 each. It's going to be a limited number of different custom NFTs available. So you may get, 2 Marcus Allen, a couple Earl Campbells, that sort of thing.
And I'm assuming these are going to go up in value. So this is what you call an investment, right?
It's an investment, but it also unlocks a lot of other little things that they have here, and I'm going to go through some of these right now.
Oh, okay. And they're $25 a pop, right?
$25 a pop.
Okay.
They're going to have signed memorabilia being made available. Once you buy it, you're going to have a chance to purchase signed memorabilia. There's meet and greet opportunities. And collectors purchasing the Playbook NFT from a particular player within a certain amount of time after launch will be able to join a video conversation with that player.
Oh, okay.
So they're doing some really interesting things. Also, if I love this one. This one smacks of like NFL influence. The person who collects the most NFT playbook NFTs from a specific player within a certain amount of time gets a chance to receive signed jerseys, helmets, and in the case of Walker, who's dead, tickets to the Hall of Fame enshrinement.
Wow. Boy, what technology there. Last time I went to the Hall of Fame to see an enshrinement, I got a baseball hat and a T-shirt, and that was pretty much it. Boy, there was no such thing as non-fungible tokens back then.
I'll tell you, NFTs allow you to do a lot of different giveaways, different type of stuff, and it's really cool to see some of this stuff happening.
And today's Trip Down the Turnpike was brought to you by Drizzly, your online liquor store. Available in over 95 cities across North America, Drizzly offers a huge selection and competitive pricing with a side of personalized content. Now there's no need to leave the house. Get alcohol delivered in less than an hour by Drizzly. Head on over to drizzly.com and order today. And now get $5 off your first order of $20 or more when using our promo code DRINK19 at checkout. Shop beer, wine, and liquor with drizzly.com.
And as always, you can get in touch with Turnpike Sports by calling or texting us at 609-512-5910. That's 609-512-5910. At Turnpike Sports is the show's handle on Facebook and Twitter. At Turnpike Sports Radio is our handle on Instagram. And as always, our email address is info@turnpikesportsradio.com. And don't forget, you can listen to the show via Spotify, Amazon Music, iTunes, radio.com mobile app, as well as Stitcher and YouTube. You can also watch us on your smart TV, Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV. Head on over to turnpikesports.net. You'll be able to watch our video channel there.
Well, we got a great show coming up. We got a By the Numbers segment, Beatin the House, and we also got a book report coming up. But right after this, I am talking with Patrick Brown, who's the conference owner and director of the Racing and Gaming Conference at Saratoga. It's being held at the incredible Saratoga Racecourse on August 16th and 17th, and he's going to tell us all about it when we come back. So stick around. More Turnpike Sports after this.
The Racing and Gaming Conference at Saratoga returns this August 16th and 17th at the historic Saratoga Racecourse in Saratoga Springs, New York. Held in the 1863 Club at the Saratoga Racecourse, the Racing and Gaming Conference at Saratoga is the premier national forum for industry decision-makers, advocates, and patrons to discuss and analyze gaming trends in all sectors of the industry. 14 panels, over 40 speakers, all meeting for 2 days to examine the critical issues facing the gaming industry and share their ideas and insights. Register today at racingandgamingsaratoga.com to reserve your seat. And be sure and check out the website for full agenda and conference speaker list. The Saratoga Racecourse was named as one of the world's greatest sporting venues by Sports Illustrated, so don't miss out on participating in this premier event at this historic location. The Racing and Gaming Conference at Saratoga, this August 16th and 17th at the historic Saratoga Racecourse in Saratoga Springs, New York. Register today at racingandgamingsaratoga.com.
With some of the best promotions and offers in the sports betting market, PointsBet simply stands out. PointsBet is the only U.S. online bookmaker to offer points betting, where every yard, every point, every goal, even every play matters. Same-game parlays, good karma payouts, early payouts, and exclusive game day promotions and guarantees for all sports. PointsBet offers more bet types than any other bookmaker in the world, offering a unique set of markets that aren't available anywhere else. And now PointsBet is offering one of the best sign-up offers in the sports betting market today. New customers signing up with code BET21 receive 2 risk-free bets up to $2,000. Get up to $500 back if your first fixed odds bet loses, and up to $1,500 if your first points betting bet loses. That's code BET21 for 2 risk-free bets up to $2,000 at PointsBet. PointsBet, it pays to be fast. Must be 21 years or older and in New Jersey to place a bet. Terms and conditions apply. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Is your bathroom looking old and worn out? Want to update it, but you don't know where to start? Then let BCI Bath & Shower show you how to turn that old bath into an aisle of beauty and functionality. Our residential bathroom solutions provide the best value on the market, and our customer service is second to none. Our cost-effective BCI Bath & Shower family of products has what you need.
Remodeling our bathroom was a big decision for us.
They didn't make a mess out of our house at all. And at the end of the day, we had a beautiful new bathroom. And it was a great experience the whole way through.
We have the best monthly payment programs in the industry with payments as low as $68 per month or no interest, no payments for 18 months. That's right. Get the bathroom of your dreams now and pay for it in 2021. Call 1-800-308-8291 for a free no-obligation price quote. That's 1-800-308-8291. When you want quality bathroom products at a great price, it's got to be BCI Bath and Shower. That's 1-800-308-8291.
Welcome back, Turnpike Sports here. You know, being a lawyer in the gambling industry, I've been to a lot of gaming conferences, but there's one coming up that I think is really special. Not only does it have the top experts in the gambling field, but it's being held at one of the most historic racetracks in this country. It's called the Racing and Gaming Conference at Saratoga, and it's being held at the incredible Saratoga Racecourse on August 16th and 17th. And we're going to find out all about it because on the line we have the conference's owner and director, Patrick Brown. Pat, thanks for coming on.
Thanks very much for having me.
Oh, it's great to have you. I can't wait to hear about all the conference. It's such an incredible thing that you're doing. But before we start talking about the conference, can you give us a little bit of background on how you got into the gambling industry and how you got involved in the Racing and Gaming Conference at Saratoga?
Sure. Well, I've lived in the Capital District here around Albany for a good part of my life, and Saratoga is only a half hour away. So I spent a little bit of my misspent youth at the racetrack. Started going in the 70s and really fell in love with the sport and the setting. I got involved in horse racing professionally, I'll say, as a lawyer, when I worked for Governor Cuomo the Elder, Mario Cuomo.
Okay, yeah.
Back in the late 80s and 90s. I was a member of his legal team for his second and third terms. Part of my job, working for the governor, was to advise him on horse racing and other gambling. We didn't have much other gambling in New York at the time. We had a lottery, and the Indian gaming started when I was working for the governor back at that time. So that's how I got involved in it, fell in love with it as a policy area and as a legal area. It's really very fascinating. And the sort of all of the different policy decisions that goes into how a state deals with gambling, what types of gambling a state will allow, what types it won't. You know, all the states are all over the map, New York included, and, you know, that's how I got involved in it. When I left government after we lost in '94, I joined a law firm. We had some gambling clients, and I, you know, started in the private sector advising people and companies in the horse racing and gambling areas.
We've gone through the most challenging time for the gambling industry because of the pandemic. As a gaming attorney myself, I've drafted documents I never thought I would. I never thought I'd have to draft this service agreement for the cleaning and sanitizing of casino chips, but it was a weird year and a half. You're an attorney as well, and I'm curious about your opinion on how the gambling industry has weathered this pandemic.
Well, you know, pretty much like everybody else, I guess. There's been some fallout in the industry. I'll give you one example. I'm a thoroughbred horse owner, and the horse eats and trains and needs to be cared for to the same extent, whether it's racing or it's not racing.
Yep.
And those bills pile up, and they certainly piled up during 2020, during the COVID year. There were just far fewer racing opportunities for thoroughbreds, and so it made for the business decisions that you have to make as a horse owner all that more challenging. I mean, it's a challenging business to begin with. Let's face it. But when there are far fewer opportunities to race, it just made it even more difficult. Very pleased to see that the tracks are open. I don't know if they're all at 100%, but certainly so pleased to see that Saratoga really is going at 100%. Their fields are very large this year, and the best racing in the world at this time of year happens to be a half hour from where I live, so that's pretty good.
Well, let me ask you about that, because one of the special aspects of this conference is the place where it's being held, the 1863 Club at the Saratoga Racecourse. I mean, it's really an incredible course, as you said. Can you tell us something about the history of Saratoga Racecourse and the 1863 Club?
Sure. Saratoga Racecourse is the oldest sporting venue in the United States still in use, and just an incredible history. And it began in 1863. The first races were held a few months after the Battle of Gettysburg and the Emancipation Proclamation. So that kind of gives you a context of how long it's been around. And it is, just a spectacular venue, just architecturally. It's really quite beautiful. The New York Racing Association, who runs the race, much of the racing in New York, and runs the meet at Saratoga, built a couple of years ago this fantastic new venue at the clubhouse turn, and it's called the 1863 Club after the first year that the track opened. And I just thought it would be a perfect place to have this conference, and thankfully NYRA, the New York Racing Association, agreed to provide the venue and to be a host of the conference. So.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned NYRA, but you also have Spectrum Gaming Group involved in the conference as well, and these two groups are so important to the gambling industry. Why do you think it was so important to have these two groups involved in the conference?
Well, Spectrum is essential to having the conference because I'm a pretty good attorney and a fair hand at lobbying. But I'm not a conference promoter or planner, or I've participated in this conference for years as a panelist, but to actually put one of these things on requires a skill set that I lacked. So I reached out to Spectrum. I had been to their conferences. They hold the Nickel-G's conferences all over the country for states with gaming legislators. And I had been to one of their conferences and knew that they do a great job in putting the conference on. And I know Mike Pollack from Spectrum. We've worked on some issues here in New York together, so it was a perfect fit for me. And they've just really been the folks who know how to put these things together.
I think this is one of the first gaming conferences that is being held live since the pandemic, which is great to say. I mean, tell us about the history of the conference. When was this conference first held, and what was the inspiration for its creation?
Sure. There's an entity within the Albany Law School called the Government Law Center. And I'm on the advisory board of that group, and they've been around a long time. And they're a specialized group of attorneys who provide academic resource, if you will, to the legislature, to the governor, to local governments, and they do all sorts of stuff, land use things, in any number of public policy issues. Well, the Government Law Center in 2001 started this conference in Saratoga as a one-day conference dealing specifically with equine and horse racing issues. So for 19 years, this conference was run by the Government Law Center of the Albany Law School. And it was an academic-oriented conference. It was geared toward lawyers and toward government people. And it was very successful. Mm-hmm. And it grew. It started as a one-day horse racing conference and grew into a two-day conference that dealt one day with horse racing, the other day with other forms of gambling. And I have kept that model. So in February 2020, I was handed the reins by the law school and promptly canceled the event for 2020 because of the pandemic.
Sure.
So this is our first time out of the gate here with me at the helm. So
I have to tell you, you have a very impressive list of speakers at the Racing and Gaming Conference at Saratoga. Tell me about some of the speakers and the presenters that people can hear from at the event.
Sure. I kept the very best from the law school, I must say. There's a fellow named Bennett Liebman. He's an attorney and a professor at Albany Law School. Very entertaining, very interesting, has written a ton on all sorts of gambling issues and horse racing issues. Bennett and I served in the Mario Cuomo administration, years ago. And Bennett's going to talk about gambling in Saratoga other than horse racing. I think it's going to be a very interesting, talk.
It sounds like that.
Because, the question is, why Saratoga? Why did Saratoga become the place where the racetrack was built? Why did Saratoga become the place where so much gambling took place? Why didn't that happen in Albany or Troy? And Bennett's going to answer some of those kind of historical questions with some great, colorful stories about gambling in Saratoga over the years. He's also going to be the moderator of two really important horse racing panels. And both of them deal with the recently passed federal legislation, the Horse Racing Integrity and Safety Act. And this is a complicated, controversial piece of legislation that was passed at the end of the 2020 Congress. And it's a critical piece of legislation for the horse racing industry. And it deals with, I'll use the word, some people might take issue with it, but the nationalization or the federalization of horse racing regulation. Mm-hmm. And, by that I mean, in the past, regulating horse racing has always fallen to the states. Each state had their own set of rules. And those rules included rules about drugs, what drugs were permissible, what drugs aren't, what drugs you can administer on race day and what drugs you can't. and each state had a different set of rules. And this law is trying to make a uniform national policy with respect to drugs. And, you know, it doesn't take a genius to know that upsets a lot of apple carts.
Yeah,
I mean, it upsets the regulatory systems in various states. It upsets horsemen. It upsets some racetrack. I mean, it's a real controversial piece of legislation. So we're going to learn about the law, what's in it, who it covers, that sort of thing on the first panel. And then the second panel on this law, we're going to have folks who are involved in challenging the constitutionality of the law. So we have Russell Williams from the Standardbred Horsemen. He's an attorney, but he's also in the head of that organization. He's going to be on that panel, and a state representative, Kennedy from Oklahoma, who's also an attorney, but who is part of the lawsuits that are challenging this new federal law. So that should be really very interesting to hear from these folks. Another panel on the horse racing day that I think is going to be, have some fireworks with it, is the issue of what others call decoupling. As you know, and probably your audience knows, back in the day when video lottery terminals are being first introduced at racetracks, there was a whole debate about whether the revenue from those VLTs ought to be, some of it ought to be used to promote the horse racing that was going on at the racetrack, usually in the form of increasing purses. And, that occurred back in the early 90s. And since then, in various states, purses have increased. And trust me, as a horse owner, I love the fact that the purses are as high as they are. But the question now is it time to either reduce or remove those revenue payments altogether and spend that money on something else? We have a former budget director from the state of Pennsylvania, Sharon Ward, is going to be on a panel talking about this issue, and she's written a pretty provocative report that says, why is the state of Pennsylvania spending all this money on supporting horse owners when we ought to be spending the money to educate children? So she puts it in that kind of stark dichotomy. Not sure everybody on the panel is going to accept that as a legitimate parallel, but she's going to have her hands full with this panel. I think this is going to be a real good one. And the last one on the horse racing day I'll mention quickly is an issue that's really getting a lot of traction with the onset of on sports wagering, and that is whether horse racing should be limited or should limit itself to a pari-mutuel wagering system, or whether we ought to be looking at other forms of wagering, fixed odds, and other types of wagering like you can do on other sports. And that's going to be a real interesting debate as well.
I was going to ask you about that because I know that is such a huge issue, especially regarding pari-mutuel wagering versus fixed odd wagering. And I see on the panel you have Bill Pascarell, who's been on this show several times, and I think that's such an important issue. Where do you think that issue will be heading in the new year?
Well, it's a very complicated issue. I think people are going to look at New Jersey and look at their experience there. I think there is not a consensus in the industry just yet. So without a consensus in the industry, it's very hard to get legislators to change the rules. And there's even a question in New York, particularly because of the wording of our Constitution, whether you could go to a non-pari-mutuel system without changing the Constitution, which is a very elaborate process and takes a long time. So in New York, there's some real hurdles to fixed odds and other non-pari-mutuel systems coming here. But I'm hoping to get a broader perspective on that, not just New York. And certainly Bill will be, talking about the experience in New Jersey, and that should be very helpful to folks here.
I got to tell you, one of the most impressive things about this conference is the wide range of topics that is being covered. You said the first day is horse racing, but there are other topics that you're going to present. What are some of the other topics that are going to be presented during the conference?
Well, on the second day, we're going to focus in the morning on sports betting, and particularly sports betting in mobile sports wagering in New York. We just, after years, we just passed a statute in New York that will allow mobile sports wagering. But as is its usual inclination, New York has not followed a traditional path, I will say, in this law, and it is a law that has much more in common with the state of New Hampshire and their system than it does other, more traditional gambling states like New Jersey. So we're going to have a discussion, and I'm lucky enough I'm going to moderate this panel on the second day. Really looking forward to it. We're going to have the chair of the Assembly Racing and Gaming Committee, Gary Pretlow, and the chair of the Senate Racing and Gaming Committee, Joe Adabo, both veterans of this conference, and we're going to have a discussion with them about how New York got to this point. Those two gentlemen had introduced a bill a couple years ago now that was really more in line with a traditional approach to sports wagering. And that bill did not ultimately become law. The bill that became law was really the governor's proposal. And in that proposal, the governor insisted on a system that was going to be very limited in the number of number of public-facing outlets for mobile wagering, and the tax rate will be the highest in the country. They are right now in the bidding process, but the expectation is that the tax rate will be in between 50 and 60% of gross gaming revenue. So it's a different approach than most of the other states have done. Really looking forward to hearing from the legislators and some of the industry folks who are on this panel. We've got a Cy Games representative, on the panel, and somebody from Bally's, and also very interesting on this panel, I've got Casey Brett from the Major League Baseball.
Wow.
The leagues were very much involved in this mobile sports betting issue in New York when the legislation was being considered, and they wanted to protect their data. That was a big issue for a lot of the leagues, and they wanted a piece of the pie, right? Mm-hmm. They talked about getting an integrity fee. I think they went away from that label and called it something else. So I'm interested to hear from Casey whether the leagues, Major League Baseball particularly, is satisfied with what ultimately passed in New York from their perspective.
I got to tell you, looking at the schedule, I mean, I love the way you organize the conference. I mean, I'm sitting here in New Jersey, and the main reason why the state wanted sports betting was to help out the horse racing industry. So for me, horse racing and sports betting are kind of linked in my mind, and two of the most successful sports books are at racetracks in New Jersey, the Meadowlands and Monmouth Park. Is that how you feel? Is there a link between horse racing and sports betting, and do you think horse racing has benefited from the rise of sports betting?
Well, we won't know the answer to the last question for a little while, but the link is obvious, right?
Yeah.
Betting on horses is a form of sports betting. It is one of the original forms of sports betting, and the sort of structure of the industry is very similar. So, yeah, I think there's a huge connection between sports betting and wagering on horses, just in how the two systems are structured. And then you look at the business end of it. New York is a mature gaming market. We have established, invested gambling industry in New York, and now this is a new entrant. So whenever that happens, there's always tension, and how do you make the right choices to integrate something new because people want it, and yet not destroy what you already have, and that's always the challenge. So.
One of the hottest topics in gaming today is eSports, and you actually have a panel involving eSports. Why did you feel it was necessary to include eSports in the conference?
Well, that one, that is the one topic on all of these topics that I know the least about personally. It's very intriguing. I'm 65 years old. It's not something that's really in my experience. Mm-hmm. It's in my daughter's experience.
Yes.
my millennial daughters. But I've gone to a number of conferences, and there's usually some casino executive or racetrack owner or somebody talking about how are we going to get the younger fans? How are we going to appeal to younger bettors? And I've always thought that the eSports was an entree into that very critical but new demographic. Mm-hmm. And there's a debate in the industry whether that's actually going to happen, and I want to capture that debate in this panel. I want to hear from people that know a heck of a lot more about this than I do, and that one's going to be interesting to me because I'm hoping to learn a lot out of it and answer the question, really, is eSports the key to unlock the younger, better, younger fan?
I'm glad you're offering something like that because that's the least part of gambling that I know about. And here in New Jersey, they were just given a license, the eSports Entertainment Group, to create an eSports-based betting platform. So that's one thing I'm learning about, and I'm so glad that you're offering that to people who attend the conference because, like I said, I know very little about it, and I'm learning as I go, and I think that's great that you're doing that. Tell us about some of the other events, and tell us about the schedule of events that people can see when they get there.
Well, I mean, we've gone through a lot of the agenda. I before we leave the agenda, I want to talk about one more, and that is the name of the panel is called Economics of Bookmaking. I want to deal with the issue of the competition between now the legal bookmaking that is being allowed in several states, including New York, and the very well-established illicit bookmaking operations, both offshore and, within the country as well. So we've got folks that know how a legal bookmaking operation, how the economics of that works, and we want to compare that with how a bookie's operation works. So we've got Patsy, the man in black, who's written a book about his experiences. I think he doesn't like to be called a bookie, so I'm not going to call him that. But we've got Patsy, and I think he's going to be very, very interesting in talking about how do you run that business? How does it work? And I've always believed that the biggest challenge, or one of the biggest challenges on the sports wagering front, is to bring customers who are used to betting in a particular way into a new system. Because the old system, frankly, I mean, you can talk about the legality and the ethics and all the rest of it, but it works pretty well.
Yeah.
And it's well established in the culture, and so that one should be interesting. To answer your question about other things to do, what I'm hoping is I can get people to come to Saratoga, go to this conference, and stay. And we're lucky enough to get the venue because there is no horse racing on the 2 days we have it, on the Monday and Tuesday. But there's horse racing on the Sunday before the conference, and there's horse racing on Wednesday and the rest of the week after the conference. So we're going to really encourage people to stay and enjoy the races. And one of the first things we're going to do on opening day here is to have the president of NYRA, David O'Rourke, he's graciously agreed to open up the conference, really talking about the Saratoga meet and things to do and what NYRA is offering and that sort of thing. So I'm hoping that gets people to stay. And we're, part of the goodie bag is we're giving out a card that gives you 10% off from all kinds of businesses in downtown Saratoga. I really want to make this conference a, small but a little economic engine for the area.
I love what you're doing with the conference and the speakers and the topics because, look, you don't need to be a lawyer or a casino executive to really appreciate and really to learn from what's going on at your panels. And like I said, it's such an amazing venue that you have there.
Yeah. I mean, I hope people come and maybe go, there's a thing that NYRA offers that I love, which is breakfast at the track.
Wow.
So when the horses are out on the track, before the racing and before all the craziness of the meet, it's very peaceful. You come, you have a glass of champagne with a strawberry, and you watch the horses out, just training on the track, getting used to the track. It's fantastic. It's a beautiful thing to experience. I hope folks do stuff like that because it, as great as the racing is at Saratoga, there's so many other ways to enjoy it. And breakfast is a great way to enjoy it.
Now, if someone wants to get involved and attend the Racing and Gaming Conference at Saratoga, what's the website they go to, and how do they sign up to attend the event?
There, on this website, there is a thing you click to sign up, and the website is racingandgamingsaratoga.com. And if you go to that website, you'll find a thing to click on to register, and you'll find the agenda that we've been talking about, and some other things about the speakers. And the website's got some information there, more information about the various panels.
Pat Brown, thanks so much for coming on and telling us about the Racing and Gaming Conference at Saratoga, which is being held on August 16th and 17th, and you can check that out at racingandgamingsaratoga.com. It sounds like it's going to be an incredible event, so everyone who's interested in horse racing and the gambling industry in general should check it out. Thanks so much for coming on, Pat.
Thank you for having me.
Stick around. We'll be right back with more Turnpike Sports.
During these difficult times, we understand how important it is to stay healthy and safe. With so many of us confined to our homes and not being able to work, we feel the financial burden more than ever. Many folks lost their jobs and businesses. Others were furloughed, and some are working from home at reduced pay. Keeping up with your bills is not easy under these circumstances. If you have credit card debt and cannot keep up with your monthly payments, we at Debt Fix Pros are here to help. Give us a call to see how we can reduce your interest rates and lower your monthly payments. Protect your credit and let us help you find a solution that fits your needs. We, your friends at Debt Fix Pros, are here to help. Let us take care of your credit card debt so you can focus on what is really important. Call for a free phone consultation at 800-919-6011. 800-919-6011. That's 800-919-6011. 800-919-6011. United we stand.
We'll get right back to the show, but I want to take a minute to talk to you about Bean Genius. How would you like your coffee delivered right to your door every month, maybe 2 times a month? Well, now that can happen with Bean Genius. Bean Genius sells freshly roasted coffee from some of the best independent coffee roasters in the country at beangenius.com. And Bean Genius actually learns their customers' individual taste preferences, then suggests future coffee blends for them. Well, how do they do that? Well, this is the cool thing about Bean Genius. Over at beangenius.com, they use an algorithm which learns the coffee flavors you like and then pairs up what you like with the coffee that they have in stock. And it's all based upon you. Every time you order, the system learns. The system learns your preferences as you go along and order more and more coffee. And now, all our listeners at Turnpike Sports can get a special offer. You head on over to beangenius.com/subscription, and you'll be able to get 10% off your purchase when you use our promo code PIKE, P-I-K-E, at checkout. That's 10% off at beangenius.com/subscription with promo code PIKE, P-I-K-E. beangenius.com, the smart specialty coffee subscription service.
It's getting warmer outside, and the action is really starting to heat up on the tables at Party Poker in New Jersey. Sign up with code EXIT7A and take advantage of Party Poker's new sign-up offer of $25 free, plus a first deposit match up to $600, and start playing poker online today. Daily tournaments, cash games, sit-and-goes. The Party Poker U.S. network offers players an opportunity to participate in their favorite poker tournaments online every day, all day. And don't forget about their Sunday tournament featuring $35,000 in guaranteed prize money. So head on over to nj.partypoker.com and sign up today with our promo code EXIT7A. New customers get $25 free when registering, plus you also get a first deposit match up to $600. That's code EXIT7A to get your $25 free when registering and your first deposit match up to $600. The cards are in the air at partypoker.com in New Jersey. Must be 21 and over and located in New Jersey. New patrons only. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
casino. People got to win sometime.
Now, if you'll excuse me, I have a giant, colorful check to deposit.
Beatin the House is brought to you by BetMGM Casino. Play your favorite casino games at BetMGM Online Casino. Slots, table games, live dealer games, everything you love about Atlantic City and Vegas, all online at BetMGM. Don't wait. Join in the fun now. Go to BetMGM Casino, create an account using our promo code Turnpike, and become a verified player. New players get $25 free when signing up, plus a first deposit bonus up to $1,000. That's promo code Turnpike at BetMGM.com for a 100% deposit match up to $1,000 plus $25 free. Grab a lion's share of the fun at BetMGM.com. Must be 21 years or older to place a bet. Terms and conditions apply. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
And welcome to this week's Beatin the House segment, where we actually celebrate the winners against the casinos, the sports books, the online lotteries, and the lottery commissions. If you've won something, we're going to talk about it.
Casinos love giving this information out, by the way. Boy, it's such great publicity for them. They love to see the winners as much as we do. So good for the casinos.
Well, casinos love to do things that will bring in more customers. If you tell somebody, hey, this guy won $100,000 or X amount of money, they're going to want you to come in. And that's what they want to happen.
You know, as gaming attorneys, we've been to like a lot of meetings behind the scenes in casinos. You know, they bring us behind the gaming floor into these catacombs and things like that. Next time I go into a meeting, I'm going to ask them, do you have like a closet just full of those big blank checks? Because they seem to really have them on hand right away when someone wins.
Well, you know, a lot of casinos have their own marketing departments.
Oh, sure. Yeah,
so they
they
probably got, well,
I'm just curious if they have like a broom closet somewhere where you open it up and leaning up against a wall are a bunch of blank checks that they just fill in after someone wins a jackpot.
I actually wonder if there's an actual specific person who's in charge of the big check.
Yeah.
You know,
big check person.
Yeah, and because they always have them.
Especially like when they're writing on it, they really have to have really big to take those pictures. So,
I'm wondering if maybe they're printed.
No, I've seen a lot of them where, you know, they're just written with magic marker in big letters. So like when someone takes the picture with it, you can see what they're see what's on the check.
Well, I'm sure all the player really cares about is the check that they can bring to the bank.
Right.
Or if they cash it out there, seeing exactly. You know, I wonder if some of these are paid out in check versus cash, you know, depending on, I guess, the casino.
I guess they work it out.
Yeah.
So,
well, let's get started. We're going to start over in Vegas with the D.
Oh, the D.
A $627,000 jackpot. We have a man at a downtown Las Vegas. They did not say his name as usual. Turned a $3.75 bet into over $625,000.
See, the story is always better when someone spends just a little bit of money, like $3.75 to win over $600,000. That's always a great story. I mean, hey, look, if you spend $100 to win over $600,000, that's a good story. But $3.75, that's great.
This is considered a mega jackpot.
Well, yeah, I guess.
And it was done on a Buffalo Grand slot machine.
There's a Buffalo machines again.
I'll be honest with you.
They're like the first things I see when I walk into a floor, those big Buffalo machines.
Well, they're one of those draws because they're they can come
huge,
in a cabinet. They come in those big cabinets.
Yeah, the big cabinets, they're huge. They make a lot of noise and they flash everywhere. You can see them from across the gaming floor.
Well, we had the fifth time a player at the Fremont Street Casino, the D, has won a major jackpot while playing the Buffalo Grand game.
That was Monopoly and online Divine Fortune. That's always a good payout.
Well, I still got to see these Buffalo linked rooms because a lot of casinos are starting to now put all the Buffalo branded games. There's about 4 of them out there, 5 of them out there, and they're putting them in their separate room where they're all linked together. Some of them are progressives, and they're actually starting to carve out spaces for these games. You know, almost like a little Buffalo branded casino within the casino. So it'll be interesting to see exactly how these things start proliferating in terms of how much jackpots are going to be turning out.
I got to tell you, that's pretty impressive. The 5th time a player at the Fremont Street Casino. You know, it just absolutely...
It's playing a Buffalo Grand.
Yeah, unbelievable.
The most recent one was $1.2 million at the D in April. That was a Buffalo Grand jackpot there. That was the one previous to this.
Wow.
So double that.
Unbelievable.
I mean, if you think about it, you're only half that value, but that's still a good chunk of change.
Oh, $627,000. That's great.
Nothing to sneeze at. Let's go over to South Point. We've got a 7-card straight flush at Pai Gow Poker, and a player won $173,000.
Never played Pai Gow. Lots of money being won at Pai Gow. So I guess I better learn that. I think I said that last week or 2 weeks ago, and I still haven't even looked at it.
Well, this one actually had a winning hand, including a joker, which is very unusual in Pai Gow Poker.
See, that confuses me. I don't know what to do with the joker.
Well, in Pai Gow, obviously you can play it as a wild.
Yeah.
But it's right here. It can be used as an ace or to complete a straight or flush.
Oh, okay.
You can't use it for any other hand, obviously, but you can use it to complete the straight or flush. This person won the straight flush.
Okay.
So 7-card straight flush. Very difficult to do in anything, really, any kind of poker game. But Pai Gow, I don't know exactly the rules of Pai Gow. It's just amazing that we're seeing.
Well, someone did because they won over $173,000.
Yeah, did they really know what they were doing?
I'm sure they did.
Let's talk a little video poker. We haven't done video poker yet.
The only time I play video poker is when I'm sitting at the bar of a casino and they have the video poker machines right in front of my seat. So that's when I play them. So.
Well, we're going over to the Green Valley Ranch Casino.
All right.
And now we're not going to talk about 1 or 2 jackpots. We're going to talk about 3 jackpots, all in the same day, in a similar game.
Okay.
All video poker, not the same machine.
It's not Buffalo thing again, is it?
No, video poker.
Oh, okay. Good. It's video poker. Good.
And all did the same bet. $100 bet got the first jackpot of $32,000. Not a lot of money, but the fact that we're going to talk about 3 in a row here. The second player, same kind of game, same bet, $100, hit for $35,000. Same day, third bet of $100, similar game, same game, similar, different machine though.
All right. Sounds like Green Valley Ranch really has some good video poker machines.
Won $40,000.
Wow.
So the jackpots kept going up and up and up as the day progressed. $32,000. Second one was $35,000. Third one was $40,000. Kind of interesting that they were happening there. And we're not done talking video poker, by the way, because on the same day, over at the Sunset Station, a $25 bet on video poker turned into $20,000.
Wow. Okay.
So I would say if you're a video poker fanatic, find those 2 places.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Yeah.
Head out to Vegas.
I know people who just play video poker. Boy, they just love video poker. They go right to the video poker machines when they go into a casino.
And we
made
have
a good living of it, too.
Yeah. We had a 7-spot Keno winner, $14,000.
Wow, okay.
And for this last bit of beating the house, we're going to do our first online lottery win. And we've talked actual physical lottery, I guess you can call it.
Okay,
The draws, the Mega Millions, the scratchers, that sort of stuff.
So this is the very first online lottery for Virginia.
Yep.
A big win, huh?
Well, this is their they launched something called Big Money Jackpots recently, a couple of weeks ago, as a matter of fact. The Big Money Jackpots Jumbo Jackpot grew from $25,000. They set it at that price to start with. It grew to over $100,000 in just 2 weeks. Now, it's kind of interesting. The Big Money Jackpot can be won if you're playing just one of 2 games. They're tied together at the online lottery. They call them instant games for the online lottery. If you're playing either Prospector's Gold or Cash Buster Multiplier on the Virginia Lottery site, you're eligible for this Big Money Jackpot because the 2 games are linked in that way. So if you win on either one of those, and James M. of Alexandria, Virginia, he won the Jumbo Jackpot playing Prospector's Gold, which is actually kind of a cool game. If you ever get a chance to take a look at the instant game, it's actually kind of an interesting game to look at. Really good graphics.
I'm very curious how the instant games look like online. Yeah, in New Jersey we don't have them, but I'm very interested to see how the instant games look online.
They look pretty much like online casino games.
Okay. Right.
Some of them look like Keno. I think Bingo.
Okay. I
some of them look like that.
There's a bingo game on Virgin Online and Tropicana Online that I play sometimes. So it's
most instant games on the online lottery sites kind of look like slot machines.
Okay.
Because you got match symbols across a whole different row of reelers, all that stuff.
All right.
So James M. of Alexandria won the very first big money jackpot of $108,000.
Wow.
So he actually had to go to the lottery commission to get it.
Oh, okay. So they just
it's deposited into his account, but you still got to go claim it in person.
Okay, all right.
So,
I was wondering how that worked too.
Yeah, certain jackpots on the online lottery sites you got to go in person to get.
Okay.
Other ones, they're dumped into your account.
Okay.
It's only when you want to withdraw it that you have to go certain places to do it.
Okay.
But congratulations to James M. They had a big time winner there for their first big money jackpot down in Virginia. That'll do it for this week's segment of Beatin the House. If a casino, sportsbook, lottery, you have a big winner, let us know about it. info@turnpikesportsradio.com.
Stick around. By the Numbers is next. So we'll be right back with more Turnpike Sports.
Tax Solutions Now is a complimentary referral service that connects callers to companies that provide tax services.
Money matters. If you owe thousands in back taxes to the IRS, how much can Tax Solutions Now save you?
I paid less than I owe.
That's right, money matters. So call Tax Solutions Now and get the IRS off your back. Since 2014, Tax Solutions Now has been a leader in the tax resolution industries. Remove wage garnishments, property liens, fines, and penalties. Qualify for the Fresh Start program or even uncollectible status. How much can Tax Solutions Now save you?
I owed the IRS over $10,000. I paid a fraction of what I owed.
Call now to reduce or even eliminate your back taxes.
I called Tax Solutions Now and got the IRS off my back. Thanks. You saved us a ton of money.
Money matters. How much can Tax Solutions Now save you? Call now and find out.
Call 800-683-7377. 800-683-7377. 800-683-7377.
Free stuff is awesome, but free stuff that will spice up your bedroom is even better. Just go to adamandeve.com and select almost any one item for 50% off, and then we'll load on the free stuff. Just enter this very exclusive code, BABE16 at checkout, and you'll get 10 tantalizing free gifts, including a sexy item for him, a special toy for her, and a third item you'll both enjoy. And 6 extra special bonus items that are sure to rev your engine, pique your curiosity, and even blow you away. Plus, free shipping! Always sent in discreet packaging. Go to adamandeve.com now. Get 50% off plus the 10 free gifts when you enter the exclusive offer code BABE16. That's BABE16, because without it, no free stuff. That's BABE16 at adamandeve.com.
And By the Numbers is sponsored by Play Sugar House Online Casino and Sportsbook in New Jersey. Sign up at playsugarhouse.com/pike and get a first deposit match of up to $250. Enjoy the casino experience online. Play Sugar House offers over 400 games online, slots, table games, hey, even bingo. It's like being in a casino without leaving your home. That's playsugarhouse.com/pike to get your first deposit match of up to $250 today. Must be 21 years or older and physically present in New Jersey. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit 800gambler.org.
All right, welcome to this week's edition of By the Numbers. We haven't done one in a couple of weeks, and we just talked in the Beatin the House segment about slot machines and table games and the winners there. Every year, the Nevada Gaming Control Board comes out with an annual chart disclosing slot machine and table game casino win percentages in the state. And I thought maybe We just did the Beatin the House, so maybe this would be a really interesting way to look at the chart itself and talk a little bit about it. We're not going to go too in-depth here.
I am so glad you're not throwing out one of those numbers, because I would have never gotten one of those things, a slot percentage. I would have never have guessed any of those. I'm glad we're doing this in a different way this week.
Well, there are 19 markets that this report covers in the state of Nevada. Covers 121,000 slot machines, and that doesn't even count the slot machines in convenience stores, restaurants, and supermarkets.
So these are all slot machines?
Slots and table games.
In casinos?
In Nevada, yes. Nevada casinos.
Nothing like, when you're...
I think it covers the airport, too.
The airport, too? I was going to ask that.
Because it's not... It doesn't cover convenience stores, restaurants, and supermarkets.
Because slot machines are everywhere in Nevada.
Yeah. Tell me, they're even in hotel lobbies that aren't even casinos. But this report comes out every year, and theoretically, if you plow through this report very carefully and go through the different sections of the state, you could actually discover the best place to win.
Okay.
Playing certain types of games, slots and table games. It doesn't break it down by the property. It keeps that confidential. It goes by the region.
Okay, the region. All right.
So let's take a look at, and also one other regulation in Nevada, slot machines are regulated in terms they can keep up to 25% of the money that goes in, but that's it. They can't have a win percentage more than 25%.
Okay.
That's a regulation. I don't know how they keep track of that one.
I'm sure they. Well, it's all it's all computerized now.
Yeah. For the fiscal year of 2021, the 121,000 slot machines contained within this report kept 6.9% of the money that went into them. They had hold of just under 7%. So that means for every $100 you put into a game, $93 comes back at some point.
Okay.
So it's actually kind of a nice hold percentage for slot machines, and it's amazing the amount of money that comes in on slots for Nevada. Nevada slots are the key for a casino.
Slots, yeah, it's the key. It's not just Nevada; it's everywhere. I mean, the casinos live off their slots.
Well, let's go into places to play.
All right.
The worst place to play, according to this report, is downtown Las Vegas.
Really? Okay.
Slot machines held 8.43%.
Okay.
Of the money that came in, which means players won about 91.5% back.
All right.
That was the worst place to play. Second worst, and this is kind of interesting, Laughlin.
Okay.
I keep forgetting about Laughlin. I know Henderson, I know Reno, I know Nevada, Las Vegas. I always, for some reason, I can't remember Laughlin all the time.
Being a part of a lot of players' clubs for the different casinos, I get emails for, special room rates, and one of the markets that they all give special room rates to is Laughlin. So, I know Laughlin's a big place to play. So it's the second worst hold percentage for slot machines?
Yes.
Okay.
And then, there are 17 properties in Laughlin. Okay. They had a hold of 8.06%. Which, that's actually not much of a difference from downtown Las Vegas. Then you have the Strip as the third worst, the Las Vegas Strip. That's different than downtown Las Vegas.
So what's the best? I mean, you would think some of the places you were talking about, you would think that'd be the best place and the best return for your money with slot machines. But so who's the best?
Reno.
All
Reno
right.
had a 5.47% hold percentage in the 20 properties.
Wow, that's not even close. So
No.
you have a better shot of winning from slot machines in Reno than any other place in Nevada.
Yes.
Okay.
And if you can't make it to Reno, go to Wendover.
I've never heard of Wendover.
That's a new city to me, too.
All
Wendover had a hold of 5.6%.
So Reno is the best. Wendover, Nevada is the second best. So if you want to win in slot machines, your chances are better. Your chances are the best in Reno, but either Reno or Wendover, those are your best chances in Nevada, right?
Yes. And, Nevada is one of the few states that can do this because gambling is all over the state. New Jersey can't do this.
No.
It's only Atlantic City.
Atlantic City and online.
I mean, you can actually maybe take a look at which casino in Atlantic City has the best hold percentage in terms of slot machines, or the worst hold percentage.
I would think they're relatively equal in Atlantic City.
I don't know.
I mean, they're pretty much, on pace with each other. I mean, if one is better, the other casinos are going to follow suit to make it more competitive. So,
well, I wonder how Pennsylvania does it too. Pennsylvania's they're spread out all over the state.
Yeah, no, they have a lot of casinos.
And,
so and they're not in one place.
No, they're like in the corners of the state. They're like Philly or the eastern Pennsylvania,
plus they're
western.
getting a whole bunch of mini casinos, which are basically slot parlors.
That's basically what it is.
That's pretty much it.
And you have like another state, like a very limited state like Massachusetts, which has a slot parlor and 2 full casinos. They're in different regions, and they were set up that way on purpose. Sure. And Nevada just has it everywhere. Pennsylvania has it everywhere. Florida's got it everywhere too.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a matter of, I guess, the geography of the state too. Really, kind of makes it kind of interesting to see exactly how the disbursement of the casinos are, and also which city has the best slot percentages. I think, Illinois is going to be kind of interesting to see too if they do it that way.
Yeah,
if they break that down, but depending on where you are with the states and all that stuff, I think reports like this are very helpful for gamblers. If you can get your hands on it and you got the time to dissect it and understand it.
I don't know if this is going to put Wendover, Nevada over the top in terms of tourism, but certainly, if you're a big slot player and you want the best, bang for your buck when it comes to slots, I guess Reno is the place.
Yeah, no, Reno's.
Hey, why not? Check out Reno.
And Reno is actually still going through some redevelopment. They're doing some renovations on a lot of the casinos there.
Sure.
So, that's a great place. And there are probably a lot of other cities that were listed here that have smaller gambling operations. But if you go, check it out, go to Nevada Gaming Commission. The reports are available to the public. Just go ahead and take a look at them. And, if you can actually figure out a system here, let us know.
I've seen books on how to beat slot machines. I don't know. What technique do you use to beat slot machines? I don't even understand. I guess the key to winning in slots is picking the right machine, right?
And right time.
Or the right time. Or, hey, you know what? Or the right place. Go to Reno.
Yep. That's it for this week's By the Numbers. If you have any kind of weird statistics in terms of the gaming industry, sports betting industry, let us know. info@turnpikesportsradio.com.
The book report's next, so stick around. We'll be right back with more Turnpike Sports.
Are you paying too much for your health insurance? Are your deductibles too high? Or are you completely uninsured? If you answered yes to any of these questions, Healthcare Help Desk can help you now when people need help the most. Health insurance laws and rules have changed. If you have Obamacare, are uninsured, or your premiums are too high, call Healthcare Help Desk. It's free. New healthcare plans are available, and you may qualify for dental coverage and lower copays and deductibles. Make the free call now. Top quality coverage at the lowest prices anywhere. You may be paying too much and not even know it. In these troubled times, healthcare is more important than ever. Don't let another day go by without health insurance. Policies are being offered with very low copays and deductibles. So if you're uninsured, underinsured, or paying too much, call Healthcare Help Desk.
800-329-7906. 800-329-7906. 800-329-7906.
Sometimes life is wonderful, and sometimes it's not. Cherish the good, but always be prepared for life's challenges. At Private Healthcare, we provide the peace of mind you deserve. With Private Healthcare, you'll get the coverage you want and healthcare you need. If your employer doesn't supply healthcare coverage and you don't qualify for Medicare or Medicaid, you need to give us a call right now. Private Healthcare is private health insurance for ages 65 and under with medical, dental, vision, and even prescription coverage. When life comes at you unexpectedly, you need to be ready, and health insurance is your financial safety net. If you're looking for health coverage at the best price and your annual household income is $35,000 or more, give us a call at 800-231-9279. That's 800-231-9279. 800-231-9279.
The Turnpike Sports Book Report.
The Turnpike Sports Book Report is brought to you by BorgataSports.com. Your favorite casino is now your favorite sportsbook. Available anywhere in New Jersey, BorgataSports.com. Sign up at BorgataSports.com using our promo code PIKE, that's P-I-K-E. Make your first wager of $20 or more and you'll get $100 in free bets. That's $100 in free bets when your first wager on Borgata Sports is $20 or more. Get into the action with BorgataSports.com. Must be 21 years or older and in New Jersey to place a bet. Terms and conditions apply. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
And welcome to this week's edition of the Book Report, where we're going to be talking about, well, I was going to be talking about some state benchmarks that were hit in terms of sports betting handle. Also a bunch of deals like DraftKings and the Chicago Cubs with Wrigley Field Sportsbook, the Penn National Gaming Score media deal. But Florida had to go, and something had to happen on Friday afternoon with Florida that basically took every piece of show prep I had and had to put it aside for just a little bit.
Is Friday the day when all the news comes out for betting?
Nobody was expecting this to come out on Friday.
Okay, all right.
It was one of those things where, to set the stage, in Florida, everyone knows the state and the Seminole tribe down in Florida negotiated a new gaming compact for 30 years between the two parties, $500 million at minimum going to the state of Florida from the Seminole tribe from sports betting and some of the gaming expansion portions of this bill. It's an annual payment to the state under the compact, but what was interesting was once it was approved by the state, it had to go to the U.S. Department of the Interior for approval, like all Native American gaming compacts.
Yep.
They had a 45-day window, and in that 45-day window, I guess you can call this a no-decision decision.
I got to tell you, I love the fact, I mean, we were talking about this the other week, and we said there was a 45-day window, and, you know, we were both thinking, you think they're going to make their decision before the football season? So, you know, just to get the ball rolling. And I love that this happened at this time, you know, right before the football season. I'm not sure if that, you know, helps out when they're going to start betting or if they're going to start betting this year, but it really moves things along.
Well, again, this was a no decision.
Yeah.
They issued a 12-page...
Which is kind of a decision.
They issued a 12-page letter.
Deciding it.
Yeah. Well, there are a lot of concerns regarding the mobile betting area, especially because of where the servers would be located versus where the bet was placed, because there's federal regulations in place saying that gaming on Indian lands, the servers and the actual activity has to be placed on the gaming lands. And when it comes to mobile betting, there's some question as to, is it where the servers are placed? Is it where the bet's placed? And there's a lot of issues there. And the letter really kind of avoided that. And, you know, there were some issues with online gambling that they felt was kind of concerning, but really didn't go against what they thought the IGRA, the Indian Gaming Regulatory Act.
But like I said, their no decision was really a decision. Did they basically say, you know what, it's fine with us? Whatever you guys decide, it's fine with us, right?
For the last couple of years, the Department of Interior said no to this sort of thing, where it was on the servers versus off the servers, all that. All of a sudden, they have this different reaction to what's going on with the Florida compact.
So pretty much, whatever you guys decide, it's fine with us.
Yeah,
which is a great legal opinion.
It's not
way to punt.
That's exactly what it is. They punted it.
Yeah,
because there's going to, you know, right now, if everything stays as it is, and it's not, to be honest with you, because we got a lot of lawsuits probably coming down the road, state and federal.
Yeah,
I'm waiting to see somebody bring in the Department of the Interior as a defendant, because it's such a really odd about face that they did here.
The big winners of this are the attorneys that are going to be handling all these cases. Yeah.
But if everything stays as it is, you're looking at sports betting starting legalized sports betting starting in Florida after October 15th.
Okay, it's not the start of the football season, but
it will be in the football season.
It will be in the football season if nothing legal or court-wise happens, right?
Right.
Okay.
Now,
and when you talk about October, what
October
date?
15th.
October 15th. Now, we're just talking about retail, right?
No, we're talking about everything.
Everything, even mobile, huh?
This takes care of everything.
Okay.
This compact controls everything.
Do you really think mobile...
you're dealing with the Florida Seminole Tribes retail casinos and their partner in the digital space, which is Hard Rock Digital.
Mm-hmm.
Those two can launch pretty much on October 15th.
The whole thing about, retail, I think, is pretty much, you can do it on Native American land or Native American properties. Like we were talking about, where the servers are, that's where the big issues are. Do you think this is an opinion, or I'm just asking for your opinion?
Well, before you issue the opinion.
No, not my opinion. I'm asking your opinion. Do you think that it's a possibility that retail could start, but mobile could start down the road past October 15th? Is that a possibility?
I think you're looking at retail launching first.
I think so.
Hard Rock Digital launching after that.
Okay.
And then we'll see what happens, because the compact denies outside parties.
Okay.
There's no FanDuel, there's no DraftKings, there's no BetMGM right now. None of that is allowed under this compact.
All right. So
the one thing
that should be interesting.
Yeah, the one thing that's really going to be dependent upon here is the federal and state lawsuits, and we'll see what happens with that. I mean, we're looking down the road here. If everything happens October 15th, well and good. But you got other things going on in Florida. You have the what is this? The constitutional amendment ballot referendum that DraftKings and FanDuel have going down in Florida.
Okay.
They need 1 million verified signatures to put another online sports betting question on the ballot.
I wonder how close they are.
Don't know yet. Don't know yet. But that's another thing. But that won't take effect until, if it actually happens, won't get on the ballot until 2022. And if everything goes the way that, according to plan for that, you're looking at 2023 for other sports books coming in.
Okay.
So you're getting a 2-year head start here.
Boy.
And it's just there's a lot to unpack here, and it's just going to be fun
I'm
to
assuming
watch.
this is going to
As
be
an attorney,
developing.
it's going to be fun to watch.
It's going to be developing over the next couple of weeks, I would think.
Yeah, especially this no third party or parimutuel betting. And of the 19 licensed entities in the state, they have to partner with the Seminole tribe to get online gambling going.
Wow, okay.
And they have to guarantee 40% of their net revenue to the tribe.
Okay.
So
wow.
this is basically a state monopoly, if you want to call it that. It's almost like what DraftKings has up in New Hampshire,
sure.
but not to that. This is like, wow.
Yeah.
I can't believe this actually was approved by the Department of Interior, given their history.
Well, technically, it wasn't approved. It was just a no decision. It's punted. They basically legally said, whatever you guys decide is fine with us.
Go ahead.
Whatever you guys want.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see this decision or non-decision decision by the Department of Interior, how it affects the other states with Native American compacts that are being negotiated now.
Sure.
Because this opens up all different avenues now for gaming compacts in different states and different deals that they want to have done. And I think that's where a lot of the advantage comes from the Native American side.
Do we now look to Connecticut now? Because
no, Connecticut's all done.
They're all done. The compact was fine. And
yep.
Okay.
So Connecticut, I think you're going to see other states, maybe like a New Mexico.
Okay.
Stuff like that. Texas. Texas may be an interesting one to watch with this sort of situation going. But, it's congratulations, Florida, I guess, for now.
Yeah.
See what happens. Going on to a couple other, deals. I guess I can call it that now, after talking about the Florida Compact here. We talked about Penn National Gaming and Score Media in our other fifth exit segment last week. Again, it's going to be, as single event sports betting in Canada starts to really shape up, we're going to see exactly where the Score and Penn National Gaming fit in with everything. Because there's a lot of not only name brand U.S. regulated or licensed sports betting outfits that are going to go into Canada. There's also a lot of offshore sites that are going to want to get licensed in Canada as well.
Sure.
I mean, Canada has one of the biggest gray markets.
Well, I just talked to Paul Burns, who was the CEO and president of the Canadian Gaming Association. He gave some great information. Now, I don't even know when we're going to air that interview, but
it'll be coming.
Okay, it'll be coming. So, look for Paul Burns because he gave it some great information on sports betting in Canada.
Well, again, that's going to be interesting to see exactly how the score part of the deal shapes out. I know the technology that Penn National made a focus on in the announcement still is being developed by the score.
Yeah.
They're taking their risk management, their customer acquisition software, and they're putting it all under one roof. Like, just so it's all, they don't have to outsource to third parties because they're doing Canby and another group right now for those two things. Penn National is.
I got to tell you, I really like the score. I mean, even beyond their sports betting app, I like their do I call it a regular app or the app they had before sports betting? Because I use it to check my the news or the gaming news.
You gotta remember.
I check my team's news. I check my team's scores. I mean, it's great.
Well, you got to remember, the betting portion of the app is called the Score Bet.
The Score Bet, yeah, I have.
The score is still
the score is the actual one that I have on my phone.
The content,
right?
data, all that's the DFS stuff, all that stuff. Yeah, there are two different kind of apps there. Mm-hmm. One interesting note that I didn't mention the fifth exit, but I should mention it here. Everyone was focused on the Score in Ontario. The Score also made another deal with a company called Canlan Sports, which manages arenas and sports facilities across Canada.
Is it basically in Toronto?
Well, they own and operate 6 sports arenas in Toronto, which is...
I didn't even know there were 6 sports arenas in Toronto.
Believe me, Canada has so much to offer.
Wow.
I'm still learning about Canada. I've been to Canada a couple of times, but I think that's also an important little part to this. The Score has access all across Canada because of this deal. And I think that's going to actually help increase the value of Score in terms of the Penn National gaming contract. Acquisition, I should say.
Yeah.
But
and don't forget Barstool's mixed in with this.
Oh, Barstool's going to have sports bars in Chicago and Philly.
Yep.
According to Penn National, they're hoping to have, Barstool Sportsbooks this fall in Arizona and Virginia. They have planned launches in Colorado, New Jersey, Tennessee, possibly in time for NFL betting.
Oh, did I hear New Jersey in there?
New Jersey's in there.
Oh, whoa, okay, good.
So they're going to have a really good, solid footprint in North America. And honestly, I didn't see Penn National, 2 years ago doing this.
They were a great company back then, but, man, they have made some amazing moves.
I mean, right now we're seeing DraftKings being the media, sports betting, fantasy content company. We're seeing Bally's doing the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
And now we're seeing Penn National. I'm waiting to see what Flutter does. Because Flutter's going to be doing stuff too. They got to be doing something a little bit more. They got Fox Bet under their umbrella, so maybe we'll see something there too.
Well, and one thing I'm sure you're going to talk about is Caesars. Caesars is doing amazing things.
Well, let's talk about them. Caesars launched their Caesars Sportsbook.
Yep.
It used to be the old William Hill brand that really is it's a rebrand.
Can I just say something? I mean, I had William Hill on my phone. And one day I looked at my phone, and William Hill wasn't there, but there was a golden chalice icon on my phone, and that was Caesars.
It's actually kind of cool to see a golden chalice on your phone.
I didn't even have to download Caesars Sportsbook on my phone. It just automatically changed.
Well, every William Hill customer that had the app on their phone supposedly saw that too.
I would guess so. I really thought, I knew Caesars was taking over William Hill. I thought I would have to...
William Hill, United States.
William Hill, United States. I thought I would have to, erase William Hill icon and download Caesars and download the right Caesars for New Jersey. But no, everything was done for me. I mean, one moment I saw the William Hill icon. The next moment I saw the golden chalice of Caesars.
Well, the one important thing that Caesars has done, in their earnings call, the CEO said they're going to be looking at $1 billion spend for the upcoming football season.
Mm-hmm.
So that's going to be interesting to watch there. They have one of the most unique sign-up offers right now. It's risk-free bet up to $5,000. That is unheard of. No one else is doing something like that. By the way, if you want to sign up for Caesar Sportsbook, use Pike RF, PIKERF, and you'll have your first bet risk-free up to $5,000. How about that for working in a sponsor?
And speaking of commercials, I saw the Caesar Sportsbook commercial here in New Jersey. Who was Caesar? I want to hit his name right.
JB Smooth.
JB Smooth. The last time I saw JB Smooth, he was hosting the thing when the Jets changed their uniforms.
The Jets.
I don't even know what you call that ceremony. But there was an unveiling of the Jets' new uniforms, and JB Smooth was the MC. So that was the last time I saw what's his name?
JB Smooth.
JB Smooth.
He was part of, what was that
I
show?
got the smooth part right.
He was that part of that show, Entourage.
Yes.
I've never seen Entourage, by the way, so I don't know exactly.
I also saw him on Curb Your Enthusiasm, too.
Yeah.
So he was there. And plus apparently they're having a whole storyline for their commercials.
Right. They have Patton Oswalt as Carl.
Carl?
Carl.
Okay. And then they're having I guess they have to announce the Cleopatra character
called Cleo.
So
they're trying to do a little different. Instead of just throwing out an offer commercial, they said they wanted to do something more along the lines of a storyline that gets people involved. So you watch the commercials.
Okay.
I don't know if that's going to work.
All right. Hey, I'll check it out.
It's different.
I'll check it out.
I'll be honest with you. Between the offer and the way they're approaching the marketing of this, very different.
Yeah.
And it's nice to see some kind of different changes to this.
It's very creative.
But one thing I want to hit before I forget, and I think this got lost in a lot of things here with regards to the Penn National deal. Actually, two things. FanDuel. Remember they did the deal with the Indianapolis Colts not too long ago?
Yes.
They just launched the Colts FanDuel Fan Pass ticket package.
Okay.
Very unique. Another unique little thing that happened for the sports betting market. I've never seen this done before. I'm pretty sure we're going to start seeing some duplicates of this, especially with other FanDuel partnerships.
Okay.
The ticket package, 4 regular season games each season, $100 in FanDuel site credits. It's $25 a game.
Okay.
So you go to a game, you get $25 in FanDuel site credits under this package.
Okay.
4 games. First of its kind. Deal between an NFL team and a sports book. Let's see. 4 home games during the 2021 season. Here you go. There's 2 different types of packages. Package A. Games include Seattle Seahawks, Tennessee Titans, the Jets, and the Patriots.
Okay.
It's not a bad package.
No, not bad.
Package B. Rams, Houston Texans, Jacksonville Jaguars, and the Raiders.
Huh. Okay.
I don't know which one I would go for. I mean, as a Jet fan, I would go.
Yeah, well, you're
automatically
a Jet
go
fan.
A. But I don't know. I mean, I really think Package A might be the better set of games.
Maybe. Yeah, I think so.
I don't know how Houston's going to be. Jacksonville's still a mystery because just the new quarterback there.
Mm-hmm.
The Raiders,
but the Heisman Trophy is #1 overall pick. I'd be
that
very
doesn't-
curious
that
to
does
see
not
him.
translate into,
Yeah, but I'd be
you know.
very curious to see how he does.
Well,
So,
again,
first off, I'd like to see who the Colts quarterback will be. So I'm not even sure about that yet.
I honestly thought you'd see a Nick Foles trade right
that'd
away,
that'd be funny.
it doesn't look like it's happening.
No.
And then you have now the Eagles looking at Deshaun Watson,
Which
by the
is
time
a
this
very
airs,
interesting move.
By the time this airs, that may not happen.
Those are the rumors we're hearing in New Jersey and Pennsylvania here. So who knows?
I think he would be a good fit just from a sports standpoint.
He's a
The
PR
baggage
nightmare.
he's coming, the
That's
baggage that's coming with him. Whole other story.
That's a
I don't
PR
know.
nightmare.
But again, I just don't have any confidence in the quarterback that they have right now.
No, Jalen Hurts, well, he's unproven right now, so it'd be interesting to see how he does.
I was going to say inaccurate.
Well, all right. Well,
but we'll see. I mean, I got a team that's full of question marks right now. They're going to have the youngest starting roster.
And those are the Jets.
The Jets, yes. So they're going to have the youngest starting roster, and my heart says, bet on 7 to 8 wins, but my head says go 5-6.
Yeah, probably. I mean, I think the Eagles are in the same situation, so we'll see.
Yep. One other deal, actually 2 other deals I'm going to hit, but I just want to do this one before I forget. DraftKings. The Illinois Commission on Chicago Landmarks unanimously voted to approve the Cubs' plans to build the 2-story sports book adjacent to Wrigley Field. They've been talking about this for a while.
Yeah.
It's going to be actually really cool to see them build that. It's going to take a year to build.
When they say adjacent, I'm assuming it's not attached?
It is attached.
It is attached. Okay.
According to the concept drawings and the plans, you can actually enter Wrigley Field through the sports book.
I don't know how Wrigley Field is a historic. I was going to say monument. It is kind of a monument, a historic building. I was wondering how much building they can do on it and
it's going
stuff
to be
like
a 2-story
that. So I guess it's
2-story sports book, which is going to be pretty cool.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So
it's going to be open year round, by the way, too.
Good,
and it'll be fun to see exactly how that shapes up. Speaking of DraftKings, they just expanded their deal with Genius Sports. They are now going to be doing official sportsbook data from Genius Sports for all NFL-related products. Now, the data thing is kind of interesting because this might start forcing other sports books to do the same thing here. And I'm shifting topics here a little bit just to, because I'm following a thread here. DraftKings is now the only sports book that uses official data for all the top-tier sports.
Okay.
Talking about football, baseball, hockey, basketball, NASCAR, golf. Everything is official sports data. Mm-hmm. And a lot of states are now starting to look at requiring official data as being part of a license. So it's going to be interesting to watch how.
Well, they're in a good position then.
Yeah, no, they're fine, but it's going to be kind of fun to watch this how it shakes out. BetMGM did a deal with Cheddar News to do a Cheddar Bet show. It's a weekly news show, to cover the sports betting industry.
I think it's like it's going to be on Thursdays. I think I read
Thursdays at 4:30 p.m.
4:30. Okay, 4:30 p.m.
on Cheddar News. Wherever your listeners have Cheddar News, take a look at it. It's going to be interesting to watch.
I mean, in New Jersey, it's on basic cable, but in other places, you have to get the app and things like that. Check your local listings.
Golden Nugget did another deal. Kind of fun to watch Golden Nugget start shaping out their deals. They did a deal with NASCAR team Front Row Motorsports for the 2021 season. They're going to have their branding appear on the number 38 Mustang car driven by Anthony Alfredo.
Okay.
And it's also their brand is going to be on the team's hauler and their online platforms. Also, you're going to see GoldenNuggetCasino.com's website as the primary sponsor of the number 38 car at NASCAR Cup Series races coming up. Michigan International and Richmond, where Golden Nugget's active as an online presence there.
Cool.
Last but not least, well, maybe two more things. PointsBet did another golf deal. They announced the appointment of Nota Begay. I'm not saying his name correctly at all, and I apologize. He's going to be their global golf ambassador.
Okay. I know they have, was it Paige Spiranak?
Yes.
I see her all over social media, and I think I saw a commercial for her.
Well, this is one of the first Native Americans.
Okay. Great.
And also it involves his charity, the MB3 Foundation, which donates money to Native American children for cultural programs.
Great.
For Native Americans in different states. And we're going to go back up to Canada for the last entry of this week.
Okay.
And we're going to probably see more of these coming. The Canadian Football League.
The CFL.
Bet Regal has now been appointed as their official sports gaming partner. I never heard of Bet Regal, but then again, I'm not too familiar with the Canadian market. They're over in the UK. They're a big presence in the UK.
I miss watching the CFL. I mean, the field is huge. It's just enormous.
I just like the three downs.
I mean, it's a lot of passing.
Yes.
It's you hate to be a running back in the CFL because you're not going to be used a lot.
Well, this is similar to the American deals, where they're the official sport gaming partner of the Canadian Football League. You're going to see Canadian Hall of Fame quarterbacks Damon Allen and Matt Dunnigan as brand ambassadors, and you're going to see a free-to-play game.
Great.
It's going to be, let's see, the race to the 108th Grey Cup is also going to be done, too, in addition to a free-to-play game. It's a pick-em style game that allows fans to pick winners and predict scores to win prizes. So this is the first North American sports partnership for BetRegal, and I think we're going to start seeing a lot more of these partnerships with the CFL coming soon, with single event sports betting coming soon.
Great.
That's it for this week's book report. Any news or notes, info@turnpikesportsradio.com. Don't forget to follow the show at Turnpike Sports on Twitter, at Turnpike Sports on Facebook, at Turnpike Sports Radio on Instagram as well.
That'll do it for us this week. We'll see you next time on the Turnpike.